Mega Mike the Movie Man, and today got a Mega Movie plan. Today, I'm back with another Mega Movie News Roundup episode for you all. This is a segment on the channel where I cover the 10 most important movie news topics to come out this week, saving the most important topic to the very end, which is we are no longer getting the Flash movie in 2022. I'm going to go over the reason why, so stick around through the entire video for that information. Also, if there's any movie news that I forget to cover in this and you think deserves a movie news episode, just go ahead and email me anytime at megamikethemovieman@gmail.com. It is completely free. Let me know your name and movie news topic you would like featured, and that way I can give you a shout out on your own movie news episode on this channel. But without further ado, let's get started. Now getting into our first topic, we got some more Batman sequel news. So Matt Reeves says that Mr. Freeze could work in a Batman sequel. Now, I'm kind of excited about this, but I have a few hesitations as well. I'm excited because Mr. Freeze is a awesome Batman villain. He's one of the most memorable Batman villains, just how he looks. I mean, he was great in that animated movie Sub-Zero for the Batman. It was just so fantastic. You got to see really about that he cares so much about his wife and he's really just trying to find a cure for her. So that's why he does all these crimes. And so to me, that could totally work in a Batman sequel. That'd be such a fun villain to see. Now, some hesitations come in though, because, this is a little bit more of a fantastical villain, right? He has a freeze weapon, his skin is all like frozen and icy looking, and he's in a suit because he needs that suit to survive, to keep him under that certain temperature. So that's very fantastical, and this Batman movie has gone away from the fantastical elements completely. So would it be the Mr. Freeze we all know and love? I'm not too sure. I think they would tweak this one quite a bit. I'm not even sure if they would give him like a giant freeze weapon. Maybe it's just going to be somebody that's committing crimes and is using like liquid nitrogen on his victims and things like that. They could go that way with it. That would ground the character. Now, I really hope they don't do that. I want some of those fantastical elements because to me, Batman works best when, yeah, it can be sort of realistic, but you just have a little hint of something that's fantastical, something you don't see every day. That's why it is a supervillain, right? And that's why it's a superhero story. Something that's just different. So I really hope they don't go too fantastical with it. I need them to keep the suit. I need them to keep that condition that he has to stay under a certain temperature so his skin looks bluish, and I need him to have a freeze weapon. Now, however they want to ground him with those elements still in place, go for it. I think that would work great. I think that'd be really interesting. We need to redeem Mr. Freeze since Batman and Robin did him so dirty. We gotta get him some redemption. Basically, giving us that Mr. Freeze from the Arkham City game, that was a fantastic Mr. Freeze. And that was such a fun boss battle. That was great. So if we could do something like that in the Batman sequel, I would be all for that. But let me know in the comments below. Would you be excited for a Mr. Freeze in the Batman sequel? And how would you go about creating him? Would you give him some fantastical elements or just completely get rid of those fantastical elements and make it like it was in the real modern world? Let me know that in the comments below. Alright, so our second story of the day is we have some more information on the new Predator movie that's going to be called The Prey. Apparently it's going to take place in the Great Plains in 1719. Okay, that was kind of a shocker. Wow, that is a random date, 1719. So I'm really curious, what are they trying to do with this story? Because it seems like a really unfair advantage for the Predators to be fighting against people from the 1719. Like, the technology the Predators have as these science fiction monster of characters, with all this technology and weapons at their disposal, I mean, wouldn't they just be able to destroy people from the 1719 pretty easily? I mean, that's why I get curious about this one. Like, how are they gonna fight back? Like, bows and arrows, spears, like, what else are they going to be using to fight against these hunters? That's where I'm not making the connect yet. It'll be interesting to see though. So I do like how it's something different. We have never seen the predators in this type of environment before during this time period, so that's something unique and different. Now, it's probably not going to be a lot of predators. I think it's one predator, if I'm guessing, because there was multiple predators. That'd be an extremely unfair advantage. I'm like, no way, this would make no sense for an actual standoff fight that would have some fairness to it. So I bet it's one predator and then a group of people from the Great Plains fighting against that one predator, getting picked off, and then there's one that rises up and, defeats the predator, kind of going back to the original Predator with Arnold, but just a different environment now and a different time period. But I'm still curious to see how this showdown is going to go. I mean, to me, 1719, that is just such a random time period. So I just don't know how this movie is going to be handled. I mean, I can't wait till we get like an official like trailer for it. Then I'll get more of a vibe of, oh, okay, this is what they're going for in the movie. I just hope they handle it correctly with this time period, with the group of people they're using. And that's what's going to be interesting to see and see how it plays out. But let me know in the comments below. Are you interested in this Predator movie, The Prey? I mean, are you excited about this one? What do you think about it taking place in 1719 in the Great Plains? Do you think that's a good story idea, or would you have picked a different time period? Let me know that in the comments below. Now, our third topic is going to be that the Gotham PD series got canceled or basically changed and revamped to go into the Arkham Asylum series. So we knew that those two shows were now coming out. They were announced, the Penguin and Arkham Asylum. But before that, there was supposed to be this Gotham PD series. But now apparently, well, Gotham PD series is now what they actually switched to with the Arkham Asylum show. So that makes more sense now. But I was always wondering, why would they even do a Gotham PD series anyway? To me, that would have felt very similar to the show Gotham from what I saw of Gotham. So I'm glad they're not going that route again. And that's probably why they changed it, because they were probably like, well, it's going to be the exact same thing as the other show with that same similar vibe of just focusing on Gotham's police department. And just too similar, so let's do something different. Let's switch it to a Arkham Asylum show. People will probably be more excited about that anyway. And I am way more excited about an Arkham Asylum show. Before, when I heard Gotham PD series, I'm like, don't really care about seeing that one. Probably not going to check it out. But when you say Arkham Asylum, ooh, that gets me more excited. So an Arkham Asylum show I think could be really interesting. I actually might make a full on episode about what I would do with the show completely, but just some hints of it. I would probably focus it as a anthology type of series where every episode focuses on a different obscure villain from Batman's rogues gallery, because Batman has such an awesome rogues gallery and there's a lot of villains in there that don't get much attention ever. So let's kind of learn about their backstory and what crime they were involved in to get them put into Arkham Asylum. I think that would make each episode unique and different, and it would give us a different supervillain every time, which I think would be really cool. But to connect it all together, I would have a more popular supervillain, say like the Joker, for example, that could kind of be our overarching story throughout the whole series, and we really get built up to something amazing at the end with the Joker. That would be fantastic. But then that allows you to bring in Harleen Quinzel, right? Harley Quinn, but keep her as Dr. Harleen Quinzel, interviewing these patients every episode, right? Doing the psychology part of it. And so we get to see her appear every time in each episode, but that'd be so really cool. But eventually it builds up to her, connecting with the Joker, and then maybe we see her by the end, she becomes Harley Quinn, and then Joker has a big moments of sort. That would be so fantastic in my eyes. That's the Arkham Asylum show I definitely want to see. We don't know if it's going to go that way. We haven't got too much details on what the story plot is of the Arkham Asylum show, but I am happy that they went with Arkham Asylum over a Gotham PD series. But let me know in the comments below, are you happy that they canceled the Gotham PD series and instead went with this Arkham Asylum show instead? And do you have any story ideas you would want to see in the Arkham Asylum series? Let me know that in the comments below. Now to get into our fourth topic, and apparently we got an I Am Legend sequel that's happening. Wow, I never thought I would hear this one because I Am Legend came out such a long time ago. I believe in 2007. Now we're in 2022. I mean, that's forever ago in movie time. And so it's kind of tough to remember what I Am Legend was really fully about. I mean, I remember the main plot points, but it's been such a long time. My memory's a little fuzzy on the movie now. So, has this sequel reached its expiration date already? Should they be doing a sequel to it right now? And what's the story gonna be? Now, I am excited if they can bring Will Smith back for the sequel, and I think they have to do that. You gotta bring Will Smith back because that's gonna get more audience members out to go see this movie, especially with how well Will Smith has been doing lately with his SAG award winning for King Richard. I mean, you gotta bring the star power back to this movie. Now, however they want to do it, if they want to retcon the ending of the original movie, they could do that. Or they could have him back in flashback sequences. That could work as well. But they need to bring him back in some capacity because that's what's going to make it an I Am Legend movie. I'm not interested in an I Am Legend sequel if Will Smith isn't there. I'm just not interested at all in it. But you bring Will Smith back, I get a little bit more intrigued, and I'm like, I'll check this one out. I want to see what happens with this one now. So it could be a fun story. From what I remember, I Am Legend was a fun kind of sci-fi movie, but mixed some horror elements in there as well, in a post-apocalyptic kind of world. And so, you know what? I would be excited to go back to that world, even though we've seen a lot of post-apocalyptic types of movies, and we even got like Last of Us that will be coming out as well. But it could work. So hopefully it turns out great. I will be excited once we get to see a little bit more from this movie, like a teaser or trailer of sorts. But until then, we'll just kind of have to wait on it. But let me know in the comments below. Are you excited for an I Am Legend sequel? Do you think they should be making a sequel now that it's been so long? And do you have any story ideas for this sequel? Let me know that in the comments below. So our fifth topic here, we got some Moon Knight news to talk about. So apparently we got an original Avenger showing up in the Moon Knight show, and that is going to be Mark Ruffalo. Yes, the Hulk. Now I'm excited about this because the Hulk is awesome. Now I hope that they bring the Hulk back as someone that actually, transforms into the Hulk, because we've seen Mark Ruffalo now without being Professor Hulk. I wasn't a big fan of Professor Hulk. No, I want to see the Hulk rage out at different times. So maybe it's going to be Mark Ruffalo for the whole series, or maybe the Hulk will come out sometimes. I don't know, but I think that'd be really cool if we saw some Hulk smashing scenes, at least a couple times. But Mark Ruffalo, that's awesome. He's going to be in this Moon Knight series. To me, it's getting me more pumped for Moon Knight. Originally, when I first heard Moon Knight, I was interested, but now as this news comes out, I'm more like, okay, you got my attention, Moon Knight. I'm getting pumped for you. And then also, we heard some comments that Moon Knight actually might become an Avenger. Wow, that would be fantastic because we know they're going to have to do an Avenger movie down the road. I mean, that makes Disney the most money, so why wouldn't they keep making more Avenger movies? And you're going to have to bring in new Avengers, right? We're taking out some old Avengers, we got to replace them with some new Avengers, so why not have Moon Knight as a new Avenger? And so, to me, if this show does well, if people fall in love with the Moon Knight character, they're all excited about him, then to me, of course, he is definitely going to be an Avenger in the future. And I am just so excited about this Moon Knight news, especially if this show is good, they handle the character correctly. it looks like they're handling it correctly from the teasers we've seen so far, from all the posters we've seen so far. It is looking great, but we'll have to really know when we see it. That's when we're really gonna be like, oh, okay, did this character really work? And is he Avenger level? But this is some awesome, exciting news about Moon Knight. Let me know in the comments below. Are you excited to see Mark Ruffalo in the Moon Knight series? Also, do you think the Moon Knight will become an Avenger character and an important part of the MCU universe overall? Let me know that in the comments below. Now to get into our sixth movie topic, and we got some Red Sonja updates, but not good updates. Apparently, the director and lead actress have left the Red Sonja project, so to me, this movie is probably not going to be made. Now, the lead actress was supposed to be Hannah John Kamen, if I'm saying that name correctly, but she was the actress that played Ghost in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I think she actually did a good job in that role. So I want to see her in more projects myself, but apparently she is dipping out on this movie. So what's going to happen with this movie? No longer have the director, no longer have the lead actress. I mean, they've been talking about making a new Red Sonja movie forever, it seems like. I think this was even information that was in talks before even Black Adam came up, and that movie's been talked about forever. So is a Red Sonja movie actually ever going to happen? Maybe down the road sometime, but I don't think in the near future. I think there's just been too many problems, and now you have some major components that are leaving the project. I mean, this is just not a good sign for anyone involved with this movie, unfortunately. But I would like to see a Red Sonja movie in the future. Now, I'm not like the biggest Red Sonja fan, and I don't know the most about the character, just what I've seen in images. But she is a comic book character, and you know me, I'm all for comic book properties on this channel. Though, to see something a little bit different, something we haven't gotten before, or at least for some time. I know there's been Red Sonja stuff before, but we haven't seen Red Sonja in some time, so it would be cool to kind of see an update on the character. I think that could be a lot of fun. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think went wrong with this Red Sonja movie project? And would you even be excited if they did a new Red Sonja movie, or do you not really know much about the character at all? Let me know that in the comments below. Now to get into our seventh movie topic, and now finally, the Warner Discovery merger has been approved officially by the shareholders. So this merger is happening, and that is awesome, exciting news. I'm so excited to see Discovery control now Warner Media, because I did not like how Warner Media was being handled under AT&T. To me, they just made a lot of missteps with doing all the day-and-day HBO Max releases, and to me that just really hurt the company financially. So now I think this new merger being under Discovery, I think Discovery is going to make smarter decisions with this part of their company. I know they're more of a company that wants to go theatrical with their movies first, but then put it on streaming service after the fact. And to me, that's the way to do it. Make your money at the box office up front, then put it on your streaming platform to support your streaming platform going forward. The day and day release just does not work. So I'm excited for this merger to happen, but with this merger, it isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Now that Discovery has taken on Warner Media, they actually took all their debt as well. So they're actually in a lot of debt now, because Warner Media was spending money like crazy in those streaming wars, or spending wars if you want to call it now. And so there is a lot of debt with that Warner Media part of it. And so now Discovery has to take that on. I mean, that just is business 101. So it's going to be some time before they're able to get out of that debt, but it seems like they have a plan in place to kind of reduce it over time. And they're not going to be involved in the spending wars. They're going to do this smart, and I think they're still going to make great quality content, but they're not going to be overly spending for that content. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for the future of this company. Where does this go? Does this new Discovery merger make Discovery be the top dog in the streaming wars. I mean, imagine that. Imagine if they're able to rise to the top and even be greater than Netflix or Disney Plus. I mean, that would be super exciting because I've always enjoyed the Warner Media properties they have at their disposal with DC and just everything they have. I mean, there is tons with HBO Max. All that HBO quality content is just so excellent. So if they can utilize that content correctly, I think they could definitely have a bright future. But let me know in the comments below, are you excited about this Discovery Warner Media merger now finally being official, finally being approved? Are you excited to see what they do with their streaming service? I know I am, but let me know in the comments below. Now to get into our 8th movie topic, and apparently we have Charlie Cox's Daredevil back in the MCU, but not the same Daredevil. This could be a Daredevil variant. Now, to me, this is interesting because why bring back Charlie Cox, the actor, as Daredevil if he's not going to be the same Daredevil from the Netflix Marvel shows? Well, I do know Disney wants to probably change the tone of the character to have him fit more with what they're going with in the MCU right now, because of course R-rated Daredevil would not fit exactly into this MCU universe, just be too many tone differences there and it just wouldn't mesh well. So maybe they're just changing him up a little bit to make him more of a family friendly type of character, kind of like what they did with D'Onofrio Kingpin in the Hawkeye series. You could tell that even though he was still a supervillain, he seemed kind of a little bit differently. He didn't seem as intense and brutal as his Netflix counterpart. So even though it was the same actor, it really wasn't a one-for-one transfer of a character exactly. There was just some differences there. And I think they're going to do the same thing with Charlie Cox's Daredevil, that even though, yeah, it's the same actor and yeah, maybe you could consider it the same character, it's not gonna be exactly the same in terms of tone, in terms of just how he interacts with characters. It's gonna fit more of the MCU universe they have going on right now. Because, yeah, the Netflix R-rated, hardcore, serious Daredevil probably wouldn't fit so well in the MCU universe, right? They gotta give him some levity to kind of fit him in more. So that makes sense. But I don't want them to lose too much of what we really enjoyed with Daredevil in the Netflix series. Because to me, that was an awesome series. All the seasons were great. He was great as Daredevil. That was such an interesting and compelling character that I don't want them to lose too much of that now trying to fit him into the MCU. Because to me, with D'Onofrio's Kingpin, I felt like he just lost a little too much there, and I was a little disappointed with his Kingpin. Seeing him now in Hawkeye just wasn't as menacing of a supervillain enough for me anyway. So I hope they don't lose too much with this Daredevil here. But let me know in the comments below, are you excited for this variant of Daredevil? Do you want to see Daredevil change to fit more of the MCU, or should they have just left Daredevil over in the Netflix show and just do a recasting of sorts and bring in a whole new different Daredevil? Let me know that in the comments below. Now to get into our 9th movie topic, and apparently we got the director Sean Levy saying he wants to do a movie project involving Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, a bromance of a movie. I mean, this would be awesome. Sean Levy is a great director. He directed Free Guy, which was my absolute favorite movie of last year. I'm probably going to watch the Adam Project today to see how he did with that one, but I'm hearing pretty decent things about it. So I am excited for this project. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds are both some of the most popular movie actors right now today, and they are always great in everything they do. They always bring it. They are so funny and charismatic and interesting to see on screen, and we do know that they have a good friendship off screen as well. They kind of have some good banter back and forth, and so to see them both together in a movie, I mean, this is what we've all been waiting for, especially with a director like Sean Levy if he could do a movie that's as action packed and as funny and as heartfelt as Free Guy, but with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds together, I mean, that could be movie gold. And I'd be so hyped about that movie, and it could just be so much fun. So this isn't anything super official yet with, oh, we have a movie figured out, we got the script, it's in development. No, none of that yet. But just to hear that idea that Sean Levy is thinking about this, I mean, that just gives me some hope for what an amazing movie could be, because this is all the great components of a good movie. Awesome director and two amazing actors. Of course, there's other things as well. We got to get a good script going, a solid story, everything. But I mean, this is a good start. So I'm excited about this movie. Let me know in the comments below. Would you be excited to see a bromance story between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman on the big screen in their own movie together? Would you be super hyped for that? Let me know that in the comments below. Now to get into our 10th and most important and final topic here is that the DC movie release schedule has been shuffled around. No, I was excited for the Flash movie to come out this year. It was my most anticipated movie of the year. If you saw my most anticipated video, but no, the Flash is zooming away to 2023 June. Wow, this is such a far ways off now. Why did they push the flashback so much? And then these other movies got shuffled around too. So now we're getting Shazam 2 in December. Okay, I guess get that December movie money going. That's fine. So at least we're getting Shazam 2 still this year. That's a positive. And then also we're getting Black Adam, but that's going to be in October. So we're at least getting those two major DC movies this year. Also, we're getting DC Super Pets if you do care about that one, but that one's now in July. So got pushed a little bit back with that one. But those will be the DC movies we're getting this year. But this is so weird because we just had that DC preview come out where it said, we're getting these four major movies. You're getting Shazam, Flash, Aquaman, the Batman. But now we're not getting the Flash and Aquaman this year because Aquaman got pushed back as well into 2023. And so this is just a weird shuffle for me. Why are they pushing back the Flash so much? To me, it gets me thinking and speculating, well, are they going to erase everything that happened in these other DC movies and completely start fresh because they were so impressed with the Batman? Why not build a whole new DC universe around the Batman? I hope that isn't the case because there was a lot of great Snyderverse components that they still had going. Yeah, we don't have the Ben Affleck Batman anymore or the Henry Cavill Superman, but we still had a lot of great components there with Aquaman and the Flash. And so they could have kept those components still going. Shazam. So I really hope they're not trying to erase everything and just start with the Batman as the starting point. I hope they don't do that. But I'm still curious, why would they have pushed the flashback so far? Now, of course, they need to work on the visual effects. I'm sure it's very intense working on so many visual effects. I get it. That partially makes sense. But there has to be something else going on here. And I don't think it's just, oh, due to COVID, some things got delayed. Maybe that's a component to it. But to have this massive amount of shuffling with all these DCU movies, no, there's a different plan happening here. It could be due to the Warner Media Discovery merger. Maybe they don't want to put so many movies into this year when their merger is just happening. Maybe they want to kind of spread it out over the long run so they can show their shareholders like, oh, this was a good year, but then this was an also solid year with Aquaman 2 and The Flash. Whereas if they kind of just put everything into this year, yeah, this year may look super stellar, but the following year, shareholders might be like, whoa, what's going on with this company? We got no new releases now. I mean, so that could be the case. They don't want to, just jam pack everything so much front loaded and have nothing later on. They probably kind of want to pace themselves out a little bit. That could make sense from a business standpoint. But as a fan here, I'm just so disappointed. I was so hyped for The Flash, and it feels like The Flash has been delayed so many times by now. I think this might be its fifth time it was delayed. I'm getting to the point where it's like, you know what? I'm gonna stop my excitement for The Flash. You let me know when it actually is in theaters. Then I'll be excited and then I'll rush out to go see it. But until then, I'm not gonna want to focus so much on The Flash because it just disappointed me too many times. 5 times delayed. It's just too much. It's too much. And so that was really disappointing. But let me know in the comments below. What do you think of the shuffle of DCU movies? Do you think this is a good business strategy? Or why do you think some of these movies have been delayed? Do you think we'll still get the Flash movie in 2023 now, like they promised? Or is that going to be even pushed way farther back than that? I just will believe it when I see it now. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this unfortunate movie news? Let's have those conversations down below. So that will do it for today's Mega Movie News Roundup episode. Episode 8. If you missed out on any of those past movie news roundup episodes, make sure you go and check those out. There's been some great movie news to come out in the last couple months, and I know you will really enjoy those videos. Also, if you're just discovering the channel for the first time, make sure you subscribe right now. I'm going to get you tons of movie news, movie rankings, movie review, and movie haul content that I know you're just going to love. Also, feel free to share out this video onto your social media platforms, especially to anybody you know that loves talking movies. That way we can build this mega league of film fans together on this channel. That would be so greatly appreciated. Also, like the video, and this is Mega Mike the Movie Man, minding you to make every day a movie day.